Did you guys hear about this major Wawa data breach? Yeah, they're calling it one of the biggest in history. And this week, hackers are selling that stolen information on the dark web. So joining me for some Wednesday wisdom is Peter Tuckman to talk about this subject. So Peter, what happened? This happened in December. Tell us about it.
So, I love these stories. The Voz gives me these fascinating little investigative reporting to do. So apparently, look, I'm such an anti-technology person. I don't even own a computer. So when I hear stories about this, it really is disconcerting and it's disturbing. So apparently we had a Home Depot one in 2013 or 15 and a Target one. There were 50 million people who were compromised, accounts compromised, 40 million compromised, Target, Home Depot, and this is a potentially 30 million people whose information is compromised. Apparently the information did not come out. It's been lingering since December. Apparently they knew about it for a little while before that. One of the problems seems to be is that the hackers are now becoming such experts at what they do that they're basically taking advantage of the dissemination of the news to basically promote the sale of this information. Now you can actually go onto the dark web and for $17 for domestic and $120 for international accounts, buy people's personal information. Originally they said that it was only internal payment statements that were being sold, but apparently the CVV number, that secret code that they ask you for now when you charge things online, is also being sold. So it's a huge problem. I don't know how, look, technology is something that it's hard to fight, but I think we've seen it here. Obviously the fear in a marketplace where I don't think this market has ever really been hacked, but there is potential for that. We've seen flash crashes. We've seen where. That's one of the great things about the floor of the stock exchanges, where you actually still have humans involved in the situation. And that's something that you're going to have to get involved in with hackers.
Now, Peter, you mentioned that the media is facilitating these hackers to sell this information. What do you mean by that?
So, well, this is all just a function of what I read. So what they're saying is Joker's Stash uses the media coverage of major breaches such as these to bolster the credibility of their shop, of their e-commerce site, and their position as the most notorious vendor of compromised payment cards. But the fact is that it's being announced that you can do that, so it's not just an internal breach. So they're really fueling their own fraud in a huge way. So as I said, they've really curated their criminal intent to actually sell people's stuff.
Wow. So have you found out anything that authorities are doing to combat this situation so it never happens again, because it continues to happen?
I don't think it's possible. But, what I'd like to relate it to is that we saw recently, it may have been around before the impeachment thing started. Basically, there were hackers and there were bots that were being built to promote and tell stories that weren't particularly accurate media coverage, and that Twitter was actually one of the few social media companies that was going to reject that. Facebook decided they were not going to vet their people and not throw fake news off the air, while Twitter did. I think that's a problem. I think, there are millions of people with way too much time on their hands sitting at home watching, thousands of pages of fake news. But when it comes to your credit card information, I am not the best at it. I'm not going to tell you my password.
I could see your password being like dog123, or just something like really random, like you just like go like this on the keyboard and somehow get it all the time.
No, on a computer. Let's be clear.
Thank you. Love having your take on this subject. This is the Einstein of Wall Street here at the New York Stock Exchange. Protect those credit cards.